It is a beautiful Saturday morning here. It was actually forecast to rain all day today, but we got a break in the non-stop rain we've had for the last 2 weeks here. So it's just perfect fall running weather. And everywhere you look, we've got babbling brooks and creeks, streams and waterfalls. And this is my favorite time of the year in the PNW because the trails just come alive. Welcome to my fall update, sort of a follow-up to my training diary series. As many of you know, my last goal race of the year was UTMB in late August, and I took a couple of weeks completely off from running after that to give both my body and my mind a bit of a break. But I'm now just under 2 weeks away from my last race of the season, this one being just a fun one, sort of a B race. So I've been hitting the trails again these past few weeks for back-to-back long runs, just to make sure I get at least a little bit of volume back in my legs for that. So in this video, I'll tell you more about what I've been up to, and I'll show you a bit more footage from a couple of my runs. I'll tell you a bit more about this upcoming trip to Portugal for this race, and I'm going to talk about what I consider essential gear for fall weather running. We had an exceptionally dry October here in British Columbia, and it left the trails quite dusty and really in need of some rain. But it did make for a nice extended alpine trail running season, and I was able to spend a couple of days up in the Alpine. The rain did eventually come though at the beginning of November here, pretty much an entire month's worth in a matter of just a few days, during what they call an atmospheric river, which is exactly how it sounds. The rain has tapered off a bit now, again here in mid-November, and instead the temperatures have dropped to around 4 to maybe 9 degrees Celsius most days, and of course much cooler at higher elevations, leaving a ton of snow in the Alpine and giving us a jump on our ski season. I've been holding off though on waxing my skis until after this last race that I have coming up, as I said, the first week of December on the Açores Islands off the coast of Portugal. I'm still struggling with how to pronounce that. I've heard Azores or Azores, but my understanding is that the Portuguese pronounce it as Açores or Açores, so maybe somebody can help me with that in the comments. I'll be going for just over 2 weeks to explore a few of the islands, and so I'm super excited. And unfortunately, Audrey can't take the time off work and won't be able to work remotely like me, so she won't be joining me this time. So I'll be coming back to you guys with an update in December with a preview of some of the footage from that race and my travels there, since the film will probably take a few months to edit, so stay tuned for that. I've been getting out for back-to-back long runs pretty much every weekend for the past couple of months, but my volume is still fairly low at around 65 kilometers per week, and I haven't been doing really any kind of structured speed work. I'm really just trying to get enough volume back in my legs that I can enjoy the race and not suffer too much. But with it not being a goal race, I'm not too concerned with actually competing. And I've really been trying to up my game when it comes to recovery, doing a ton of foam rolling and using my favorite recovery tools. And of course, I've been back in the gym since UTMB to rebuild my strength foundation over the winter here, working with my personal trainer twice a week. So while my running volume might not be super high, I've been feeling really strong, particularly on the hills, thanks to that work that I'm doing in the gym. When the rain finally did start earlier this month, it was like someone flipped a switch and we instantly went from summer to fall. After all these years, I still find that the transition between seasons can catch me a little bit by surprise, with not only the change in temperature, but also the amount of daylight. So I thought now I'd talk about some tips for fall running. The first thing that I really need to reprogram myself around when running in the fall is just the need for always carrying a headlamp. It of course gets darker much earlier now in the evenings, but really when running under the canopy, it can feel quite dark even by late afternoon. So this is probably the most important thing, to always carry at least a small headlamp with you in case of emergencies, no matter what time of day that you're heading out. And if you are planning on running in the evening, then always carry 2 headlamps, because it's really easy to accidentally have grabbed one that maybe wasn't fully charged, which can get you into trouble. And it seems to happen to everyone at least once per season. We then need to reevaluate some of our clothing choices. I burn pretty hot, so I find that layering with thinner layers is the best way to go. So for anything above freezing, I'll start with shorts and a t-shirt as a base. If you tend to get cold though, I'd recommend investing in either some full-length or 3/4 length tights. I'm a huge fan of arm warmers because I can wear them along with a t-shirt. But if I get really warm, it's easy to just roll them down. So I find this much more practical than wearing a long sleeve. I'll then always carry either a lightweight soft shell jacket or windbreaker, or if it's really cold, or if there's potential for rain in the forecast, I'll wear a hard shell jacket. And my favorite is the Salomon Bonatti waterproof jacket. Again, with arm warmers underneath, I have the option of pulling those off but keeping my jacket on, so I have more options for layering. I find the trickiest conditions to run in though is heavy rain with close to freezing temperatures. I'd way rather it be below freezing so that the rain would turn to snow. And for really heavy rain, I might put on a pair of waterproof pants like the Salomon Bonatti pant. These get pretty warm, but they're a nice thing to carry in your pack in a Ziploc bag just in case of emergencies. While my core temperature seems to be relatively high at all times, my hands definitely get cold even in shoulder season. So I own a whole bunch of different types of gloves for different temperatures, including really thin gloves for warmer fall days and much thicker ones, as well as waterproof gloves for cooler and wetter days. But if I am heading out in the rain, I'll always carry a spare pair of gloves in a Ziploc bag to change into once my primary pair soaks through. I like to wear a hat to keep the rain out of my eyes, but a buff is a really good thing to have with you at all times as well, either just wrapped around your wrist or in your pack. If your ears get cold, you can use this around your hat like a headband, and you can also put it around your neck for added warmth. If it's a really wet day, like the deluges that we had here for the first week of November, I'll often carry a spare waterproof jacket in a Ziploc bag. Another option is to plan your route as a couple of loops so that you can do a full change at the halfway point back at your car or at home. And the last thing I would say about running in the fall as temperatures drop is to remember to hydrate. This is again something that I have to be very conscious of myself because when it's cooler, I lose that natural urge to want to drink. I ran close to 3 hours yesterday and I barely finished one 500 ml bottle, which left me feeling quite dehydrated for the rest of the day. So you might need to force yourself to drink, and of course be sure to supplement this with electrolytes as you would in warmer weather. With the rain that we've been having, I fortunately don't have to carry too much water since I can carry an empty Salomon XA filter and pretty easily fill this up from creeks pretty much anytime. I'm curious though what the weather is like in your neck of the woods and whether you're still enjoying the trails or if you've already begun transitioning to skiing, or maybe you're just taking the rest of the season off. So let me know in the comments below. And as I said, I'll be coming back to you guys in a month or so with a preview from my race in Portugal. So subscribe to my newsletter at the link below to make sure you don't miss out on that. And of course, I've been hard at work on my film from UTMB. It's taken me a little bit longer to work through the almost 6 hours of raw footage that we captured from the race, but it will be coming soon as well. And I promise that it will be worth the wait. So if you found this video helpful or entertaining, give it a like and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this.